You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Let's look at the front court rotation for Syracuse basketball for 2024-2025. Now that the roster is completed, the Orange recently added Petar Majstorovic from Serbia, a 6'9" forward/center, whatever you want to call him in that regard. So the front court players for this team this upcoming season, there's 6 of them in total. You got Chris Bell, you got Donnie Freeman, you got Jyare Davis, Eddie Lampkin, Naheem McLeod, and the man of the hour, Petar Majstorovic. Once again, a total of 6 players in the front court, and hence why I'm happy about the move, because in theory, even though they all kind of play different positions, that's a backup small forward, a backup power forward, and a backup center. 6, right? All right, let's go over the 3 starters, because there's going to be 3 of them, in my opinion, who are going to start for this team. Number 1, Chris Bell. He is going to play the starting small forward in all likelihood, or at least this is just my opinion what's going to happen. He started all 32 games last year. He played 27 minutes a game, and in those games, he averaged 12 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. But more importantly, he shot 42% from the three-point line, which was second in the ACC and overall one of the best in the country. So even though Chris Bell does have his weaknesses, and I hope he can improve on his defense and improve in some areas of his offensive game as well and not just necessarily be a shooter, at minimum, he is one of the best shooters in the league. He is one of the best shooters in the country. They need him, especially because we're going to go over later on the roster outlook. They have Chris Bell as a shooter, but who else do they really got? They need Chris Bell for this upcoming season. I think he's going to be the starting small forward. Expect 25 to 30 minutes once again for him. Next up, starting power forward next season, in my opinion, is going to be Donnie Freeman. 6'9", 5-star, true freshman, and the highest ranked Syracuse basketball recruit since Carmelo Anthony in 2002. That's right. Not saying he's going to be better than Melo or on par to Melo. It's going to be pretty hard to be on par to Melo, considering he led the team to a national title his freshman season. But he is the best one since Carmelo Anthony. The best one since Carmelo Anthony. He is someone who has been hyped up as he could score all 3 levels on the court. That means, obviously, in tight near the basket, mid-range, and even has a 3-point jump shot. He does. He hit 2 threes in the All-American game, which was months and months ago, but still he had 2 threes in that one. And scouts with Donnie Freeman really rave about his size. And the reason why that's important is because a lot of players in high school are listed at certain sizes and weights. Then they actually get scouted by college scouts, and, well, let's just say they're not what was portrayed. Well, the scouts have said the height and weight on Donnie Freeman, 6'9", was not wrong. He's got a nice frame to him, and he is likely a one-and-done player, which we will take. 9 of the past 10 number 6 overall recruits in the country have been one-and-done. Donnie Freeman is number 6 overall. Expect him to be one-and-done for this upcoming season. Honestly, if not for Cooper Flagg, he would be the favorite for ACC Freshman of the Year. Now, if you don't know who Cooper Flagg is, he's the consensus number 1 recruit in the country, and he's off to Duke. Syracuse has the second best recruit in the ACC in Donnie Freeman, but it just so happens the guy he's competing with is Cooper Flagg, the number 1 player in the country. But still, expect him to be the starting power forward this upcoming season. Starting center, we've talked about him a lot. He's a transfer, 6'11", 4 stars from Colorado. That's right, I'm talking about Eddie Lampkin. He averaged 10 points and 7 rebounds a game last season. He is an excellent passer as well, especially for a big man. That also comes with a trade-off. He's a bit turnover prone. Also not the greatest defender in the world, But for what Eddie Lampkin provides, which is good scoring, good rebounding, good passing, not everyone's going to be a perfect player. So I like the addition of Eddie Lampkin. He is a very solid, capable starting center in the ACC. Is he an all-conference player? I would be surprised if he was an all-conference player this upcoming season. Pleasantly surprised, I may add. I would be certainly happy. But when they got Eddie Lampkin, I said, this is good. We have a starting center. Last year, with all due respect to Naheem McLeod, we're going to get to him soon. Naheem McLeod's not really a starting caliber center. He's a good backup, not a good starting caliber one. Eddie Lampkin provides that for this team, can give this team quality minutes this upcoming season. So those are the starters: Chris Bell, Donnie Freeman, Eddie Lampkin. As far as the backups, well, it's the three more remaining in the front court, right? We'll go over them one by one, though. We got Jyare Davis, who is a 6'7", 4-star transfer from Delaware. He projects to be a backup 3 or a backup 4. And the reason why, even though he's 6'7" and might be able to play the 4, is because he's a great rebounder. Last year at Delaware, he averaged 7 points and 8 rebounds, or 17 points and 8 rebounds a game, and also was a 2-time all-conference player. Honestly, if not for Donnie Freeman and his pedigree, Jyare Davis would easily be a starter for this team. It's a good problem to have. You can only have 5 starters on the floor. Each of them are going to play a different position. Someone's got to come off the bench, and I think that's going to be Jyare Davis. But he's going to be a very effective 6th or 7th man for this team. Next up, we got Naheem McLeod, who I recently mentioned. He's a backup 7. He's a backup center. I'm getting confused because I said center and 7 because he's 7'4", right? Naheem McLeod can play good defense for this team. He averaged 4 points and 4 rebounds a game last year, also a couple blocks in only 15 minutes a game. Now, the thing is that he started every game he played in. And if you're going to have a starting center only play 15 minutes a night, that's not really that good. You need a starter to play more than that typically. He's very good in his role, though. Now he's very good in his role. A backup center. I like McLeod as the backup. You get the difference? I don't love him as a starter. I like him as a backup. So I think McLeod, with his defense and his shot blocking ability, he complements Eddie Lampkin really well, who can maybe score at a higher rate, who can rebound as well, is a good passer, maybe not the greatest defender in the world. Well, that's when you have Naheem McLeod come in to play quality defense and provide, well, size and length on the team. So I like the duo. I like the duo of Eddie Lampkin and Naheem McLeod. I think it's very solid. And then finally, Petar Majstorovic, a depth 4 or a depth 5 for this team. Maybe he redshirts this season. Maybe he doesn't. But he could potentially be he's the third string 5. He is the third string center for this team. And he is a developmental project. Literally exactly what Syracuse needed. Hopefully, unless he's really good, of course, unless he's really good right off the bat, hopefully he doesn't necessarily have to see the floor because Lampkin and McLeod stay healthy. If they don't, they have a backup plan. They have a backup plan, which is solid for this team this upcoming year. So overall, I really like the front court. I really do. I think it's one of the better front courts in the country. I saw a list the other day of the 10 best front courts, and Syracuse wasn't on there. This is the 10 best front courts in the country. The Orange weren't on there, but I would venture to guess that if you were to say top 25 front courts in the country, Syracuse has got to be on that list. Maybe even top 20, top 15. I understand not necessarily top 10, but there's a lot of talent. There is. I think it's elite. I think it is a really, really good front court.